everyone, so now we are talking about assimilation, which is a really interesting and fun topic in phonology, so let's go. First of all, what is assimilation? It is a process of making one sound more like a neighboring sound, so we know that a sound actually is affected by the neighboring sounds or the sounds nearby. And it is actually a common phonological rules that occurs in all languages. So now let's dive into two assimilation rules that I think is really fun. First is nasal assimilation. It is when N assimilate to the place of articulation of the sound next to it. So good morning becomes good morning. I had mine becomes I had mine. I had none becomes I had none. And I couldn't go becomes I couldn't go. And palatalization, it results from an interaction between either front vowels or a wide glide in neighboring alveolar consonant, resulting in a fricative or an affricate palatal consonant. So for example, T plus U in nice to meet you becomes nice to meet you, and D plus Y in would you becomes would you, and D plus R in drink becomes drink. So would you like some drink? It is actually pretty hard to say would you like some drink? So again, there we go. Assimilation makes articulation way easier. And finally, T plus I in connection and culmination, you don't say connection or culmination, you say connection and culmination. So what is the difference between partial assimilation and total assimilation? Well, so for partial, it doesn't really fully adapt the sound next to it. So 10 bikes becomes 10 bikes and not 10 bikes. That is pretty silly. And for total assimilation, well, it is completely identical or nearly identical to the sound next to it. So 10 mice becomes 10 mice. So why is it important to learn about assimilation? Well, again, ease of articulation. It just makes pronunciation so much easier. And it's just more natural for casual and fast speech, especially when you are just chatting with your mates. And it shows that individual sounds are not separate from each other. They're actually affected by the neighboring sounds and its environment in general. And in descriptive grammar, we could see that it is the thing that linguists really focus on because it is the language that is used in a practical context. And historical assimilation, it is just a diachronic approach to assimilation. Assimilation could be a tool to predict the ways that language develop over time. And who benefits from learning about assimilation? First of all, teachers and parents, so that they know that children actually unconsciously acquire assimilation through different social and cultural contexts. Much like first language acquisition, their lexicon also unconsciously develops. And for employees during interview, because assimilation is a natural, normal part of language and speech, and that they shouldn't discriminate people from using it because it's just normal and it's not unprofessional at all. And for non-native speakers, it will help them understand what a native speaker is speaking or why they speak that way, and eventually they could confirm to the local dialect and help them learn the language. Social linguists, they can distinguish age, general location, sex, and education of a person through society and language, which is really interesting. So what would people do differently or think about differently if they knew this information? Well, it would make people less discriminatory towards people who use dialects that use more assimilation. Once again, assimilation is present in all languages, and there is no need to discriminate on someone that is using their natural assimilation rules or unconscious assimilation rules. And if people were aware of this, then people wouldn't be held back, whether it's at a workplace, in academia, or in casual speech. So that is it for today. That is assimilation. It is a really fun topic, and here are references if you want to read more about it. Thank you for listening.